All right, let's talk oligarchy. It's a term that might sound like it belongs in a history book or a political science class, but it's very much a part of our everyday lives. You might think it's just about a few rich folks living in luxury, but it's way more complex than that. Sounds like a fancy tea party, right? A gathering of the elite, sipping on their expensive teas and discussing their next big investment. Wrong. It's more like a rigged game, and guess what? We're all playing in it. Imagine a Monopoly game where a few players start with all the properties and money, while the rest of us scramble for scraps. See, oligarchy isn't just about the 1% being loaded. It's about a small group of people who have the power to shape the world to their advantage. It's about how that wealth buys them control. Control over political decisions, economic policies, and even social norms. Control over laws, media, even the way we think. They influence what we see on the news, what we read in the papers, and what we believe is possible. Think of it like a board game. But unlike a fair game where everyone has an equal chance, this one is stacked in favor of the few. The oligarchs? They get to write the rules, control the bank, and probably even spike your drink with something weird. They have the power to change the game whenever they want, ensuring they always come out on top. So yeah, oligarchy is bad news. It's not just an abstract concept. It's a real and present danger to democracy and fairness. But don't just take my word for it. History's got receipts. From ancient empires to modern states, the story is the same. Concentrated power leads to corruption and inequality. So the next time you hear the word oligarchy, remember, it's more than just rich folks. It's a system that affects us all. Remember ancient Rome, gladiators, togas, rampant corruption? Yeah, that. Turns out behind all the grandeur was a tiny group of families pulling the strings. These guys weren't just rich, they owned Rome, land, resources, you name it. They even controlled the Senate, which was supposed to be, democratic. Spoiler, it wasn't. The lesson here, money talks, and in ancient Rome it spoke fluent Latin and rigged the whole damn system. Fast forward to Renaissance Italy, meet the Medici family, bankers, art patrons, and low-key rulers of Florence. Talk about a side hustle. The Medici were masters of leverage. They used their wealth to control politicians, influence elections, and even silence critics. Basically, they turned Florence into their own little fiefdom. It's like that friend who always picks the restaurant because they're footing the bill, except, in this case, the restaurant is an entire city-state. Not cool, Medici. Think oligarchy is a relic of the past. Think again. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? That wasn't just a market crash. It was an oligarchy flex. Wall Street, with its fancy derivatives and subprime mortgages,